When a woman realizes that you've lost interest, something changes in her world. At first, she may not show it openly, but deep inside, she feels that shift in your energy. Women are sensitive to attention. They can tell when you're giving it fully, and they can tell when you're holding it back. The calls become less frequent, the texts get shorter, your tone changes, your presence feels lighter. She notices it even if you think you're hiding it, and that realization does not sit easy with her. Because attention, care, and pursuit are things most women become comfortable with. When you are giving it, she may not have valued it. But when you stop, when you distance yourself, that's when it begins to matter. That's when her mind starts racing with questions. Why isn't he acting the same? Why isn't he chasing me anymore? Is there someone else? Did I do something wrong? The very attention she once overlooked becomes the thing she now craves. And this is where the truth comes in. People only realize the value of what they had when they feel it slipping away. This is why your loss of interest has such a powerful impact. It's not about words, it's about energy. A woman reacts because suddenly she feels uncertainty where she once felt control. She might try to act unaffected, but her behavior will give her away. She may text you more often than before, or she may test you by pulling back to see if you chase. Sometimes she might even show irritation or anger just to provoke a response, because silence from you is louder than any argument. Her pride may want to keep her calm, but her emotions won't let her. That's why when a man stops chasing, stops investing, a woman starts noticing every small change like it's a puzzle she needs to solve. And this is the wisdom you need to understand. Your attention is powerful. The moment it disappears, the woman who once felt secure in your interest is forced to confront the reality of losing it. That is when her reactions reveal themselves. And those reactions, whether it's panic, curiosity, or anger, are clear signs that your silence has spoken louder than your words ever could. 1. She tries to get your attention back. The very first reaction a woman usually has when she senses you've lost interest is to try to pull your attention back toward her. It may not always be direct, but you'll see the signs clearly if you pay attention. Suddenly, she might start texting you more often, asking small questions, or sending you random things just to see if you'll reply. She could post something on social media that's clearly meant for you to notice. Maybe a new picture, maybe a quote, maybe even a mysterious status. It's not because she just felt like doing it. It's because she wants you to look, to react, to come back into her orbit. And the reason for this is simple. Attention is a form of validation. When you were fully interested, she felt secure and admired. But the second you stop giving that, she feels the gap and tries to fill it again. Think about it. When something is always available, people take it for granted. But when it disappears, they suddenly remember how important it was. This is exactly what happens with your attention. She may have gotten used to it and thought it would never stop. But when you pull away, her instincts make her chase it. She might suddenly call you after days of silence, or she might accidentally bump into you in places she knows you'll be. Even if she pretends it's casual, deep down, it's intentional. She wants to see if she still has the same effect on you. Another way she tries to get your attention is through emotional triggers. She may bring up old memories, talk about something personal, or even create small drama just to get you to react. Why? Because even a negative reaction feels better to her than complete indifference. Silence is the hardest thing for a woman to handle when she was used to being the center of your focus. And so, she will do whatever she can, directly or indirectly, to break that silence. This is where many men make the mistake of giving in too quickly. The moment she shows a little effort, they jump back into chasing mode. But if you pay close attention, you'll realize that her sudden actions are not out of pure affection. They're out of fear of losing your validation. That's the first and most powerful reaction. She tries to get your attention back, because losing it feels like losing control. 2. She gets confused and overthinks. When a woman realizes that your interest is slipping away, one of the strongest reactions she has is confusion. She starts to overthink every little detail, every little change in your behavior, because she wants to understand what went wrong. She might replay past conversations in her mind, looking for clues. She might analyze your texts, your tone, even the time you take to reply. Suddenly, things that seemed normal before start to feel suspicious to her. If you take longer to respond, she wonders if you're ignoring her. If you don't compliment her the way you used to, she questions whether you still find her attractive. Her mind becomes a constant loop of, did I do something? Did he meet someone else? Why isn't he acting the same? And here's the truth. Women are naturally more emotionally intuitive. They pick up on energy shifts faster than men do. But the problem with this sensitivity is that it often leads them into overthinking. Instead of accepting the possibility that you're genuinely losing interest, she tries to rationalize it. She'll tell herself you're busy, or stressed, or dealing with something personal. But the longer it continues, the harder it is for her to ignore. That's when confusion sets in fully. She wants to confront you, but her pride may stop her. So instead, she silently questions everything in her mind. This overthinking also leads to emotional swings. One moment, she might tell herself she doesn't care, that she can move on easily. The next moment, she's worried sick about why you're not chasing her anymore. This emotional roller coaster is a natural response when someone feels they're losing the validation they once had. And it shows in her behavior. She may appear distant one day and extra talkative the next, because her confusion makes her inconsistent. This stage is powerful because it reveals how much of an impact your withdrawal has made. She's no longer relaxed in your presence. Instead, she's alert, analyzing, trying to decode what's happening. And in many cases, this confusion becomes the seed of obsession. The less clear you are about your feelings, the more her mind tries to fill in the blanks. That's why silence and distance are often louder than words, because when you stop showing interest, her thoughts do all the work. And that confusion? That's one of the strongest signs that she feels the shift. 3. She tries to make you jealous. Another clear reaction you'll notice when a woman realizes you've lost interest is that she may start trying to make you jealous. This doesn't always come from genuine attraction to someone else. It often comes from her need to test you, to see if you still care, to see if she still has power over your emotions. She knows that men don't like the idea of losing their woman to another guy, so she uses this as a strategy to pull your attention back. Suddenly, she might start mentioning other men in conversation. Maybe a coworker who's so funny, or a friend who understands her so well. She may post pictures on social media with male friends, not because she wants them, but because she wants you to see it and react. It's her way of sending a message. If you don't give me attention, someone else will. The psychology behind this is simple. When your attention is gone, she feels the absence of validation. Jealousy becomes her tool to provoke a response from you. If she sees that you get upset or start chasing again, it reassures her that she still has some control. That's why many women turn to this tactic when they feel a man slipping away. It's not always about cheating or genuine interest in another man. It's about creating a reaction. But here's the trap most men fall into. They take the bait. They get angry, confront her, or suddenly start giving her the attention she was missing, which puts her right back in control. What you need to understand is this. Her attempt to make you jealous is proof that your loss of interest has impacted her deeply. If she truly didn't care, she wouldn't need to play these games. The fact that she's trying to trigger you shows that your withdrawal matters more than she wants to admit. This is why the best response is not to overreact. The moment you get emotional, she wins. The moment you stay calm and unbothered, she realizes that her strategy isn't working. And that's when the real power shifts. Her jealousy games expose her fear of losing you, even if she tries to hide it behind pride. Remember this: when a woman starts trying to make you jealous, it's less about the other guy and more about how much she still wants your attention. 4. She pulls back to protect her ego. Not every woman reacts to your loss of interest by chasing harder or trying to make you jealous. Some women go the opposite way. They pull back completely. This reaction often comes from pride and ego. When she realizes you're not showing the same effort as before, she might decide to withdraw her attention too, not because she doesn't care, but because she doesn't want to look like the one who is desperate. It's her way of protecting herself from rejection. On the surface, she may act like she's fine, like she doesn't need you, like she's unbothered. But underneath, she's battling with emotions. She feels the distance, she notices the change, but instead of running after you, she chooses to stay quiet and pull away. This pulling back can look like fewer texts, shorter replies, or even ignoring you for stretches of time. She might start mirroring your behavior. If you stop calling, she stops calling too. If you don't initiate conversations, she won't either. It's almost like a silent battle of pride where she's thinking, if he doesn't care, then I won't care either. But here's the truth. Silence is rarely a sign of not caring. Most of the time, it's a defense mechanism. She wants to see if you'll notice her absence, if you'll feel her silence, if you'll eventually break and chase her again. This reaction is tricky because on the outside it can make her look detached. Many men misread it and think she has genuinely moved on. But in reality, her withdrawal is usually emotional self-defense. It's easier for her to act like she doesn't need you than to risk being vulnerable and admitting that your loss of interest is affecting her. This is why she holds back, why she mirrors your behavior, why she plays the role of I don't care. The key thing to remember is that this withdrawal is also a reaction. It's not indifference, it's pride. If she truly didn't care, she wouldn't notice your loss of interest at all. The fact that she suddenly changes her behavior to match yours is proof that she feels it. Her silence is her way of regaining control. And the moment you understand that, you'll see the truth behind her distance. It's not about not caring, it's about protecting her ego from admitting she does. 5. She tests you more than ever. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, another powerful reaction she often shows is testing you more than ever before. These tests are not always direct, but they are designed to measure whether you still care, whether you'll still chase, whether you'll still bend for her like you once did. Suddenly, she might start acting distant just to see if you'll fight for her attention. She might ignore your message for hours to see if you double text. She may even cancel plans at the last minute just to check if you'll get upset or beg to see her. These are not accidents. These are deliberate moves to measure your response. The psychology behind this is simple. When she feels your attention slipping, she feels uncertain about her power in the connection. Tests are her way of regaining control. If you react emotionally, she takes it as proof that you still care. If you stay calm, she starts to feel that loss of influence even more strongly. Either way, the fact that she's testing you shows that your withdrawal is affecting her deeply. Because think about it. Why would she go through all this effort if she truly didn't care? These tests can also come in the form of subtle comments. She may bring up another guy to see if you'll show jealousy. She may pretend to be too busy for you just to watch how you handle it. She may even ask questions like, "Do you even miss me?" Or, "You don't act the same anymore." All of these are hidden ways of pulling the truth out of you without directly asking for it. It's her pride mixed with curiosity. She doesn't want to admit that she's affected, so she plays games to make you reveal yourself first. Now here's where most men fail. They react exactly how she hopes. They panic, chase harder, and pour attention back into her just to prove themselves. But when you do that, you're handing her control again. The truth is, the best way to pass these tests is to stay calm, consistent, and unbothered. When she sees that her games don't shake you, she realizes that your loss of interest is real. And that creates the strongest reaction of all. Because no test, no game, no strategy can force a man to care once he's genuinely pulled back. 6. She becomes more emotional and reactive. One of the strongest signs that a woman has noticed you're losing interest is that her emotions begin to take control of her actions. Suddenly, little things that never used to bother her now trigger big reactions. She might get upset because you didn't reply fast enough. She might accuse you of not caring anymore, or she might snap over something small just to release the frustration she's been holding inside. This shift happens because when a woman feels she's losing her grip on your attention, it creates insecurity. That insecurity doesn't sit quietly. It shows up as emotional outbursts, mood swings, or unexpected arguments. What you need to understand here is that emotion is her language. When she was confident in your interest, she could stay calm and collected because she felt secure. But now, the lack of attention makes her restless. She might cry more easily, complain more often, or even pick fights over small issues. And while on the surface it might look like she's just being difficult, the truth is that these emotional reactions are really her way of saying, "I feel you slipping away, and I don't know how to stop it." Another common reaction is sudden inconsistency. One day she might be overly sweet and affectionate, trying to pull you back in. The next day she might act cold and distant, as if she doesn't care at all. This back and forth behavior is not random. It's her emotions swinging between fear of losing you and pride telling her to stay strong. That's why you'll often see women act like they don't care, only to break down or lash out when your distance becomes too obvious. For many men, this can feel confusing. They don't realize that the emotion isn't about the little arguments or the excuses. It's about the deeper fear of losing the validation she once had. The truth is, when you pull back, you're shaking her emotional foundation, and she reacts in the only way she knows how: through feelings. Her tears, her anger, her mood swings are not signs of hate. They are signs that your absence is felt more deeply than she wants to admit. And that emotional intensity? That's one of the clearest reactions that your loss of interest has hit her harder than she expected. 7. She starts reflecting and doubting herself. One of the most powerful reactions a woman has when she realizes you've lost interest is that she begins to reflect deeply and doubt herself. At first, she might try to play it cool, distract herself, or even test you to see if you still care. But when nothing works, and she notices you're truly pulling away, her thoughts start turning inward. She begins to wonder what she did wrong. She replays past conversations, remembering moments where she may have said something cold, ignored your effort, or took you for granted. It becomes a mental loop where she questions, was it me? Did I push him away? Could I have done something differently? This self-doubt is not something she will openly admit, because her pride won't allow it. On the outside, she might act fine, pretend she's unbothered, or even show confidence. But behind closed doors, she's questioning her worth. She might look in the mirror and suddenly feel insecure about her looks. She might compare herself to other women and wonder if you found someone better. She may even confide in her friends asking, "Do you think I messed things up?" That reflection is a silent but very real reaction to your lack of interest. What's interesting is that this stage often hits her harder than anything else. because it's no longer about games, tests, or ego. It becomes about her identity. She begins to see how much she relied on your attention for confidence, and now that it's gone, she feels the void. This is where regret often sets in. She remembers the times you gave effort, the times you showed care, and she wonders why she didn't value it more. That realization can shake her emotionally, because it forces her to face the truth. She only noticed your worth when your energy was gone. For men, this is important to understand because it shows the full circle of her reaction. At first, she might chase, test, or even act cold. But when all of that fails, her final reaction is reflection. She starts doubting herself, realizing that losing your interest wasn't just about you walking away. It was about her not appreciating what she had. And in that moment of self-doubt, she finally feels the weight of your absence. That's when she truly understands the value of what she lost. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, her reactions reveal far more than her words ever could. She may try to grab your attention back, she may test you, she may even act like she doesn't care. But underneath all those moves, one truth remains the same. Your withdrawal changes the game completely. The attention she once overlooked suddenly becomes the thing she craves. The energy she once felt secure in suddenly feels uncertain. And the man she thought would always be there becomes the man she now worries about losing. That shift is powerful, and it's why her behavior can swing between extremes, sometimes sweet, sometimes distant, sometimes emotional, sometimes prideful. It all comes down to one reality. Losing your interest forces her to confront what she took for granted. The biggest lesson here is that your presence and your attention are valuable. Too many men forget that and chase endlessly, giving everything while receiving little in return. But the moment you pull back, the moment you focus on yourself instead of pouring everything into her, you see her true reactions. You see whether she values you or whether she only valued the validation. And that clarity is important. Because a woman's reactions when you stop giving interest tell you more about her than months of chasing ever could. Understand this. Silence, distance, and control over your energy are not signs of weakness. They are signs of strength. They create the space where truth shows itself. If she really cares, your absence will pull her closer. If she doesn't, your absence will expose her indifference. Either way, you win, because you gain clarity. And clarity is worth more than chasing shadows. So the next time you feel yourself losing interest, don't fight it, don't force it, and don't beg to keep something alive that doesn't serve you. Step back. Observe. Let her reactions reveal what's real. Because when you no longer chase, you place yourself in a position of power, not power over her, but power over yourself. And that's the key. The way she reacts when you've lost interest is never about just you. It's about what she truly values. And once you see that clearly, you'll never again question where you stand.